His name is Charles Rane. He's been away for 8 years. Now, he's coming home.
Speaking for myself, I'd like to say that the whole experience has made a better man, a better officer, and a better American out of me. Thank you very much.
But the world has changed.
I've been with another man.
You don't remember me, do you?
And he's changed too.
Pull it up in the air like you're gonna take me clear on up to the ceiling.
All right. Like this.
Now higher, man, higher till you hear the bones starting to crack. That's it. Higher! Come on, higher! Higher! I gotta go now.
What do you expect me to do? Just drop everything? What is wrong with you?
You're driving too slow.
It's going to take some time to readjust.
Charlie! Ah!
Shut up!
Your husband, he's got a whole bag of silver dollars, and if I don't get him, he's gonna die.
No, don't. Please don't.
Wish you could remember something. A name, a face, an accent, anything. I can't.
Can't just let it slide, Major. They don't have any right to live.
There's a storm brewing in this man. They took his arm. They took his family and his soul. His anger is building, and it's going to explode. Now, from Paul Schrader, the author of Taxi Driver, comes a new and shattering film about a man poised on the brink of violence. Rolling Thunder, starring William Devane as Charles Rane. He has a purpose. He has a plan. It's only a matter of time.
I found them. Who? The man who killed my son?
I'll just get my gear.
There's the 4 that came into my home, and there's 8 or 10 others.
Let's go clean them up.
Rolling Thunder.
Help me! Help me! Help me! Ah! Help me! Help me! Help me!
Yeah, Mom.
Help me! Help me!
Okay.
Now this is podcast.
Okay. Thank you, Kevin, for letting us know. I don't know what. It defaulted to not having a mic set. So, fuck OBS. So, as we were saying, Matt wanted to know, when did we first start podcasting? Or when did I...
Not really.
What do you mean, not really?
I already know.
Well, why the fuck did you ask that question?
Yeah, that's on me.
This is bullshit. We're lying. We're cheating and we're stealing. Just like Eddie Guerrero. Rest in peace. Okay. So, before we get to nerd news, do you have anything else to say for yourself? Because there will be nothing to talk about other than nerd news. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm excited to get into this. Another great episode. I can already feel it.
Yeah. As usual, no fuck-ups.
I love how we say that every time, yet.
I think that's the joke. Jimmy Fallon.
You got me.
I'm just kidding. Okay. So let's go on to nerd news.
All right.
Okay, so go ahead, sir.
Okay.
You want me to go?
I'll go.
He's going.
It'll be good to, I guess, get this out of the way.
Oh, God.
Because, of course, I have to bring up Star Wars again.
Okay, so...
You hear about this?
Do you want me to guess it, or are you just going to blurt it out? Okay. So is this bad news, or...
I think it is.
Okay. What is... Did somebody get killed?
No.
Okay. Except for the franchise. I don't know, man. I honestly don't give a
I thought you had an idea.
I don't give a fuck about Star Wars, really, at this point. Go ahead. What is it?
So there's an upcoming Star Wars movie called Rogue Squadron.
Really?
Yeah.
Based on the video game?
But the news this week is that it's been delayed because the director, Patty Jenkins, couldn't work it into her schedule. So that's the news.
Couldn't they just hire someone else to direct it?
Or not commit to a release date. It's just further indication that they have no idea what they're doing with this franchise, especially when it comes to movies. So it couldn't be more clear that like they don't know what they're doing. It's like just an out of control machine.
Can you break one of those over my head?
I'd like to.
Just kidding. Well, do it. Fucking kill me.
I'd like to break it over my own head. But it's just like, maybe it's good. Hopefully the movie will just get canceled because I'm sure it won't turn out good in the end. But
they're not going to cancel it, Matthew.
Just focus their efforts on TV at this point because it's the only thing they're doing right.
Yeah. I think I'm just, I don't know. I think they have this, like, misnomer that, like, movies are still where it's at as far as the Star Wars franchise, and that boat has sailed.
What they should do is have George Lucas come back and do special editions of the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, for sure.
Make them even better.
Yeah.
Like add in a few more pod race scenes.
Yeah.
Give Sebulba some more scenes.
A Gungan gangbang.
All right, let's move on to your nerd news. Before we get too depressed.
I wouldn't say that I'm depressed when it comes to talking about Star Wars. I think I'm just who gives a fuck at this point.
Yeah.
Because
apathy has set in.
Yeah, which is worse than being depressed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sylvester Stallone shares a story of how he almost died making Rocky IV.
What?
Yeah. So when they were doing the shoot for him versus Khal Drogo in fucking what's it called? Fucking Rocky IV. Dolph Lundgren like hit him in the chest and actually hurt him really bad, and he his heart swelled up.
I think I do remember hearing about this now.
And he apparently bruised the fucking periocardio sac, which is when the heart hits where the heart hits the chest, like in a car accident when your chest hits the steering wheel. My blood pressure went up to 260. They thought I was going to be talking to angels. That's what he says. But they also he's also he recut Rocky IV, and I'm like taking out the robot, and I'm like,
the best part?
Fuck that.
That is pretty cool news, I guess.
Yeah.
But I never know with him if it's hyperbole, because he says
that.
I remember he said the same thing on Expendables, he almost died doing
He's like, right, he's like, I got hit in the heart again. It's like, what?
And I do believe him that they had actual hitting in those movies, but there's a lot of actual whiffing too.
Is there actual hitting?
There's actual hitting. I saw it.
They're like, oh.
He should release the director's cut, Rocky IV, the actual hitting edition.
With an extra 10 minutes of Apollo Creed coming out.
With an extra 10 minutes of robots.
Yeah, the intro. If they cut any part of the intro out, I will fucking...
Yeah, that's your favorite part of the whole series.
When I saw it, I was like,
living in America.
It's the whole song. It's this is unabashedly extravagance. Mm-hmm. And that's I was like, dude, this is the fucking greatest part of this whole franchise, which is probably not, no one else probably thinks that, but when I saw that, I was like, yeah, baby! So,
okay.
I don't know. Kind of a slow news week. They did announce a bunch of, movies for Marvel, but that's not really anything I give a shit about, so, here's our fucking roadmap, and it's I don't know, if you like it, that's cool, but it's not my thing, so...
All right.
I'm sorry. They just had their Disney convention and talked about the Obi-Wan movie or show or whatever that's coming out. And the Willow show.
Nice.
Hopefully they can cut the bullshit out of that, which they did in the movie. Hashtag,
as long as they have electric bass in it.
Hashtag fuck Willow.
No.
I think I'm the only one that doesn't like that movie as much as everyone else.
I like it.
I saw it.
It's just the last time we watched it, I realized how much it drags.
Yeah.
All right. Should we...
I heard a fucking noise.
Well, nothing spooky till next October.
Bullshit. We're about to get fucking home invasion. Okay. Go for it.
Is it time for... Recommendation Nation?
Yes.
All right. Ding, ding, ding. What do you got?
This is like the first time we've ever done a podcast. We just keep looking at each other like... So this week I'd like to recommend Sky High.
Cool.
You know what this movie is?
Yeah, although I don't think I've ever seen it all the way through.
Damn.
Yeah, I need to.
It's a harsh thing to say.
Yeah.
I was actually going through my Disney Plus because I'm using Travs, and I was looking at all the films to possibly recommend one because they have a bunch of classic Disney films on there and stuff, and they got like Mighty Ducks, which is a legit movie, and but like Sky High, I was like, I have to recommend this movie because it's got fucking Kurt Russell in it, Bruce Campbell, like, and it's actually a movie and they're in together where Bruce Campbell isn't like covered up by some bullshit makeup, and just a bunch of other big people like Dave Foley, Kevin McDonald, Linda Carter, like, and some up and coming people like that became big later, like Mary Elizabeth Winstead and like Danielle Panabaker, and I think the lead like really didn't do shit, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. We're not here to shit on people, or are we?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a great film. It's like a superhero movie where like the son of two superheroes like doesn't have powers until you like find out later that he not only has like powers of his dad, which is like Kurt Russell's powers to like he's like super strong, and his mom's powers to fly. He like gets both of them, so essentially it's like Superman then. Mm-hmm. But it's a kid's movie, definitely.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Kurt Russell.
That doesn't mean that it's a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Disney movie, and it's kind of like when they were still, I don't know, I'm sure they're still putting out good kids movies, but like, I don't know. I don't want none of this corporate bullshit.
Yeah, and hopefully it's not dumbed down like a lot of kids movies are. I need to see it.
Yeah. It's on DVD. I don't know if there's any special features on it. There might be, but I'm pretty sure there's no Kurt Russell commentary.
Damn.
He only does that for Laserdisc.
That's a good pick.
That's a good.
I did a good.
Hashtag when you do a good. You do a great. So what are you recommending this week?
My recommendation nation this week kind of tags on to one that you recommended a while back.
You can like Laser Shoot Larry 3. I'm fucking out of here.
But it's an update.
Oh shit.
Because you recommended it on a previous episode, the movie Pig, starring Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, because we had just seen that.
Yeah. And it's great.
It's good for one watch at least.
Yeah. Well, I watched it again because I got the Blu-ray.
Yeah, I'll never watch that movie again.
My recommendation is the Blu-ray because, believe it or not, it has some really good special features on it, which is rare these days. It doesn't have a commentary, unfortunately, but it does have a feature where basically they filmed Nicolas Cage learning how to cook the dishes that are used in the movie. It's like 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's worth the price of admission right there.
Sounds
so
like
great.
A bullshit recommendation nation to me.
No.
Yes, I say no.
I couldn't disagree more. I think it's a great recommendation. So see the movie Pig and watch the extra features. Now!
You gotta start coming up with your recommendations here, Matt. You fucked me.
What's the problem? I want to know.
Oh, man. Okay. So, you ready to go on to the main one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, what is this week? I'll let you talk about this since you nominated this film.
A nice 70s revenge thriller called Rolling Thunder.
So, how the fuck did you hear about this movie?
I've heard about it just from reading about movies and, like, probably because anytime you see, like, Quentin Tarantino, like, highlighting a movie, it's usually, like, something interesting. So that's probably how I heard about it, but, like, years ago. I don't remember exactly when.
Yeah, because I had, like, never heard of this film before. Like, when you nominated it, I was like, huh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of a deep cut. But
I was actually shocked that this movie had a fucking Shout Factory release, but...
yeah, I think it's an older release from them.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen it. It's been probably like 7 or 8 years now since it was released.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like looking for it to watch online, and it was like not really anywhere. And I was like, okay, well.
Oh, really?
I mean, I think like one place had it, but I didn't have like the app or the subscription or something. And I was like, okay, well, fuck that. I'll just see how much it is. And it's like, it wasn't very expensive to get like a copy of it.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to find just a DVD copy of it, and like nobody like had it in the area. So I was like, I'll just get the Blu-ray, and it was like not very expensive on Amazon. Because just generally you can find the Shout Factory and Screen Factory stuff on Amazon, and it's most times cheaper. Not all the time. Sometimes they'll have sales, and it'll be cheaper on their website.
Yeah,
it'll get to you way faster from Amazon. But anyway, yeah. So like, yeah, this movie was definitely interesting. I'll say that much. But I guess we'll get into the technicalities here. That this movie came out in 1977. It's a drama thriller film directed by John Flynn and a screenplay by Paul Schrader and Heywood Gould, which that's actually kind of comes up in the special features. Did you watch the documentary for this?
I did, but not
recently.
Yeah, not recently. I don't really remember.
So like, it stars William Devane and Tommy Lee Jones, and this must be like one of Tommy Lee Jones's like first roles I ever remember seeing.
Young Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, he's like. And a couple other people like Linda Haynes, James Best, Dabney Coleman, and Luke Askew in supporting roles. So, yeah, it's. I guess we'll talk about the plot here real quick before we get into the film.
Well, you can sum it up in the tagline. Major Charles Rane has come home to war.
But that's not like really true at all. That's like the most misleading title of a film ever. So,
it's a play on he came home from war, right?
Well, he like
I don't really get it.
He comes home to start another war, but it's not like.
But he doesn't really start it,
right? And he at first it seems like he doesn't give a shit to really have it, so it's kind of a misleading. Anyway, so. Major Charles Rane comes home from the war and is given a number of gifts from his hometown because he is a war hero.
Vietnam.
What?
Vietnam.
Vietnam what?
The war.
Yeah. He's still a war hero, though.
Yeah. I'm just saying he comes home from Vietnam.
Oh, okay. You're like Vietnam.
Vietnam.
I'm like, oh, okay. Some greedy thugs decide that they want to steal a number of silver dollars from him, as in all of them. In the process, they also manage to kill his wife and son and destroy his hand. The Major wants revenge, so he enlists the help of his war buddy, Johnny, to meet the thugs in a final showdown.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. This movie's like...
Again, a really weird write-up.
This movie's like Death Wish if you put on, like, at the beginning of the film, for the first, like...
First half an hour is just a straight up
the
drama.
First third of the film has nothing to do with the rest of the film. It's essentially like him coming home from war, and like you think it's just going to be him adjusting to life.
Which honestly, I think that's still my favorite part of this movie.
Like, I probably would have liked it more, honestly, if it was just that.
It was so good.
Yeah.
And then it kind of takes a left turn into revenge territory.
And I'm like, oh! But... Like you said, it's kind of on the front cover.
I know. I wish they wouldn't have that on the cover, so you wouldn't know. Like,
but when I went to order it, it kind of showed up, and I was like, "Okay, well, yeah." So on the front cover, he's got a fucking hook. He doesn't have a hook when he comes home from the war. So, I mean, I guess it's not a spoiler. We just talked about how fucking they ruined his hand, but they shove his hand in a fucking garbage disposal, and he's like. I've never seen somebody, like, when they experience pain, not yell. He's like, oh. Like, every time it happens, I'm like, this has to be dubbed or some shit. He's like, oh. Like, okay, maybe he's like a masochist. He's like, I'm coming.
Oh, he totally is.
He totally is. Mm-hmm. Not a masochist.
Oh, you got me.
You were like...
So what were your general thoughts?
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It wasn't like... Like we were saying, like I think my favorite part of the movie is the beginning part, and not that I hated the rest of the film, but it was just kind of like I feel like Death Wish is probably something I'd be more interested in because it's just straight up some dude going out and reaming people, like for revenge. But like for a revenge film, by and large, I don't watch a lot of revenge films, but they're not like on my shit list like torture porn, like Hostel and shit. Every once in a while, you know, it's nice to see like a revenge kind of thing because everybody likes that like somebody gets their fucking karma shit. But yeah, I feel like the acting was super superb throughout the whole thing. It was just it was really on show in the beginning, and then also kind of like Tommy Lee Jones finally lets loose in the end when he's not like prim and proper and he's finally able to like become himself again. So
yeah, I think it's an awesome movie. It's not perfect, but I love revenge movies, and like I've said it multiple times, but I love movies where like someone gets super mad. It's just like gets my blood pumping. So this is really, really good one of those. But I agree. Like I think the first half hour is like excellent, and then it drags a little bit in the middle. Yeah. But then the ending is pretty.
Yeah, there's like
out of control.
Yeah, the ending is good, but yeah, it's kind of like there's this whole like subplot that's kind of like him taking this like girl that like falls in love with him while he's gone off to war. I mean, she's not a girl, she's a woman. But like, yeah, a groupie, and it really doesn't go anywhere. He like takes her with him and uses her a couple of times to help him out, and then he just like leaves her. It's like, okay. Kind of could have cut that whole part, I feel like, but whatever.
What'd you think of William Devane?
He's good. I always like him and stuff.
Yeah, I always like him too. And this is one of the few
He's
movies.
not like somebody you really see.
I was trying to think of
yeah,
like where I know him from, and there's not really anything. He's just he pops up in lots of stuff, and he's always good.
Yeah,
but this is one of his few lead movies that I
kind of like Tony Todd. He's like awesome and stuff, but you rarely see him in like a lead role,
right?
Which is bullshit. But
you seen Payback with Mel Gibson?
I think I might. Is that the one where he's like, "Give me my son"?
No, that's Ransom.
Oh, okay. Same shit. Or is it
Payback? Ransom.
Payback. Ransom.
William Devane's one of the bad guys in that. He's probably my favorite William Devane, but
performance.
Yeah, he's really good in this.
Well, I'll have to give it a look.
I'd like to do an episode on Payback eventually.
Maybe I won't watch it yet. Then.
Yeah.
So the intro music here is like the only music we get in the film.
It's like a
San
Antone
song. Yeah, it's by Barry Vorzin, called San Antone, sung by Denny Brooks, and I was gonna say he's like a John Denver ripoff, but I looked this up, and he was actually a singer, guitarist, and voiceover artist. He began playing music with acclaimed singer-songwriter John Denver in 1964. Denny was a background singer and guitarist for Denver from 1976 to 1986.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I was like, God, this guy sounds like, not like he's like a straight up, but I was like, this could have been a John Denver song. He's like, it's nice to see you, San Antone, again.
It's very like mellow.
Yeah.
Kind of like downbeat.
It fits the film really well, though, because they played at the beginning and at the end once all the shit's over with. And
the bloodbath.
Yeah. There was apparently like a different song that was picked. In the documentary, like let me scroll down and I'll like find out what it was again, but it was apparently like supposed to be like completely like different and kind of would have had like a different tone, the original song was named like Go Hide John. Like I guess it's about a dude that like comes home from war and he's like calls his wife and he's like, you better tell John to go and hide because I'm going to kick his ass. It was like something like that, which was like, doesn't fit the film at all because like, this guy is like a pacifist, essentially. He comes home from war and is like, he's just like, loves everybody and he's just like fine with, you know, like.
Yeah, he's pretty well adjusted, unlike Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones is like not having life.
Dude, he's so awesome in this movie because when you first see him, like,
he's like,
you just look at his face, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Like
he's like, I don't know if I can face all these people.
Yeah.
And he's like, put on your sunglasses. But it's
so good.
It's essentially like he was a young kid when he got captured with Major Charles Rane, and you feel that he kind of helped him out a lot because he's like loyal to him, hardcore.
Because it's not just that they were in the war, but they were in like a prison camp. And they were
it's like Kreese and fucking Silver, like Terry Silver. It's like, they're like the only people that can really understand what the other one went through. Mm-hmm. And there are multiple times when like the families are together and they talk and they're like just looking at each other and they're not saying anything, but like they're essentially talking to each other because they're like, get me the fuck out of here. Like they don't give a fuck about like what these people are saying because it's like nonsense to them.
It's kind of like the bond that we have after living through the sequel trilogy.
True.
Like we're both like dead behind the eyes.
Yeah.
But we can bond over the experience.
Yeah. James Bond. Yeah,
That was our Vietnam.
Vietnam, surviving the Star Wars trilogy. Fuck the veterans. It's like, Jesus. No, we here at the Buddy Shotz podcast would like to say Happy Veterans Day, a late Happy Veterans Day. And
that's actually why I picked this.
Thank you for your... oh, nice.
Not really. It was just
what the Well, thank you for your service.
It worked
anyway,
out,
folks.
It worked out good.
But, yeah, it's... I feel like, just in general, it's an interesting movie. Like, it's definitely worth one watch. Kind of like, for me, I feel like that's what I feel like with Pig. Like, if you get more than one watch out of it, that's awesome. But for me, it's like, the journey one time is enough. Mm-hmm. But it was, like, good.
I'm glad you liked it.
But San Antonio, Texas, 1973 is when this is supposed to take place. And there are... at least in the beginning, I didn't really notice it later on, but there was a couple parts in the beginning when the audio is a bit like fucked up with like it not being mic'd properly in some scenes.
Yeah, this is like a kind of grungy movie. It's not like a...
They were even saying they didn't have a lot
budget,
of money.
Low budget.
Shit. Yeah.
Not a glossy, Hollywood type movie.
But it's also like there's a lot of problems with the picture, and this is like coming from like a Shout Factory release. There's a lot of scenes where like... Not a lot, but there's a couple where it's glaringly obvious that there's, like, scratches and other shit on the film. And I'm assuming that's probably because the original film didn't get taken care of or something.
Yeah, that's probably the best print they could find.
And, like...
It doesn't look great. But.
Yeah. It's better than if I were to have a DVD or a VHS, but, like, I can only imagine what it would look like if that was the case, because it looks good in the scenes where that's not, but it happens enough for me to know. And I'm not like I'm not like somebody that writes reviews and is like, the picture, 3.5 out of 5. In some scenes, the darks are a little, like those DVD reviews. Fuck off. You're full of shit. Like, to me, the only thing I've ever really noticed is, like, in Game of Thrones, one of the later seasons, they had a scene that was so dark that literally you couldn't see a damn thing. That's bullshit. Or, like, in this film, where, like,
they did that in Solo, the Han Solo movie.
Yeah.
Like, the first 40 minutes of that are unwatchable.
I was like...
Like, it's a technical fail.
Yeah. But it's, like that kind of stuff, where it's, like, it's noticeable. Mm-hmm. And, like, same thing with, like, this, where, like, the picture's great, but then, like, there are certain scenes where I think, like we were saying, the picture didn't... Or, like, the negative didn't get taken care of as much, and it, like...
Yeah.
Kind of had a fail.
I love seeing, like, a pristine... print of a movie. Like we always talk about the Night of the Living Dead DVD, like the joke that happened.
That cracked me up the most because, like, I remember, when I first saw that at your house and you were like, check this out, the picture's great.
DVD,
and I was like,
quality.
What the fuck is this? I was like, this doesn't look good at all, because the first few minutes are like from a fucking shitty VHS copy or something, and then like they like break through with the remaster. They're like, Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass. And I was like, what the fuck? And it like blew me away.
Yeah. But for a movie like this, like it almost adds to the experience to like see kind of a grungy copy of it.
I don't agree, but I think it's I mean, I could see, because it's like if it was like shown at the time, but like it being a Blu-ray release, I'm kind of like, I don't know. If it was like that throughout the whole film, I could see that.
Not good enough.
But it just looks like shit in certain scenes.
Yeah.
Not like I'm like gonna deduct any points from the overall score for it. It's just I wanted to bring it up because this is really the only time I could ever do that, because usually Shout Factory releases are perfect with picture, and like I'm like, this looks way better than it has any right to. And like we were saying, I think it's just the negatives were just fucked. Because they even brought up, I was like, well, this is an older film, and I was like, well, wait, that doesn't fucking go because Abbott and Costello and fucking Maltese Falcon were fucking perfect, and they were like older than fuck. So, yeah. But anyway, Charles Rane has shown a flag that his son kept or had that he made while being a prisoner of war. Mm-hmm. And I'd say, if we can't get on his feet, he should take the job of a seamstress or a seamster. Because it was fucking ridiculous. It was like, he's like, I just got little pieces of fabric, and it's like a perfect replica of a flag. And I'm like, damn, dude. Like, the most ridiculous part of this, though, was that, you know what I'm about to say?
No.
That every day the men that were being held prisoner would salute the tiny flag, and sometimes even whisper the Star Spangled Banner. Like, damn,
they're
those
patriots.
Those are fucking patriots.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
You have a problem with patriotism?
I just think it's bullshit.
Why?
No, I think it's bullshit. Like, as far as like, it's ridiculous. Like, holy shit, those guys were dedicated.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
It's like, good for 7 years.
Every single day that they're saluting the American flag. Like, what? Why?
Well, I mean, it is bullshit. The American flag is bullshit. This podcast is sponsored by China. Turn into John Cena. Like, have you seen that? No. Where he starts shilling for China. He's like, China's #1, and he's like speaking in Chinese, and they're all like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my god. No, I just
thought that was a nice touch.
I was like, holy fuck. He was like, every day we would salute this flag, and I was like, 7 years. These
That's
men
how you stay
were
alive.
Fucking
stay sane.
Like, out of control. They were not fucking around, dude. The idea of a tiny flag being saluted is kind of funny, in my opinion, though.
Why? Because you're like, tee-hee.
Yeah, because it's tiny, yeah. Not because it's like they're saluting the flag. It's
you're like,
funny,
you should have made a full
But
size.
it's like smaller than this, and they're like... Just a little patriotic humor. Or anti-patriotic, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. We got some good father-son bonding time going on in the bed. It's not as good as Matt getting a fucking bubble bath in that Arnold movie.
bubble, toilet
yeah.
Matt's going
He's
to be
giving his
on the
fucking
double.
Grown son a bath.
He wasn't grown.
He was like, Mama. He was too old to be getting a bath from his dad. He was full grown. He was like 50.
Collateral Damage, not one of Arnold's best movies, where he plays a character named Gordy Brewer. Anyways, Gordy.
I didn't hate the film, but
I didn't either. It's
kind of like
that's not one of his best.
Arnold films are all the same. It's like
not even Gordon, but Gordy.
I mean,
Gordy Brewer.
Arnold doesn't look like a Gordy.
But did you notice there's a Bengals reference in this movie?
Was there?
Yeah. Because the kid has an NFL-themed blanket with all the team logos on it, and like right in the center is the Bengals.
Nice.
I'm like, who dey?
And there was like a big X.
It's like back when the Bengals were good in the late 70s. But I always
back when there were no other teams.
Before they invented they still had leather helmets back then.
Before they invented other teams, they were like going up against air. As soon as I found out you were alive, and fucking at the end, it kind of sounds like an ADR. He's like, alive? I'm like, what?
I didn't notice that.
Charlie, I've been with another man. And then he just turns into a gargoyle and doesn't move for like the next 10 minutes. He's like...
Well, how would you feel if you were made to wear the cuckold's horns?
He turns into a bass. He's like... fucking big mouth Billy.
That's one of the best moments of the movie because they're like sitting in the dark living room.
Yeah.
And she tells him that, and he's.
I mean, he knows. Like he already knew. He was like, I knew. Like,
but his response is perfect because he's like, I can't take anymore.
Yeah.
Just let me sit here.
Yeah. He says he asked me to marry him. I said I would, and he's like, I don't think I'm up for any more of this. But like,
hasn't he been through enough?
He's not like an asshole. Like, you know, he's not like somebody that would like beat his wife or anything like that. He's just like,
I mean, he's got horrible PTSD and he just needs to be like by himself for a bit to like deal with it.
Speaking of PTSD, this movie plays flashbacks of him being tortured, and the sounds are pure magic. Ooh, ow, yee, whir, ree. Like every time they do something to him, he's like, ooh, and I'm like, okay.
I didn't really notice it being comical, but like,
I mean,
now that
it
you
was
mention
just, I think it's because the audio is kind of like whenever they would ADR something, it would be like not fitting with like whenever they hit him and he's like, ooh. I'm like, why does it sound like the ooh came from like 10 fucking blocks away? Ooh. Those pills you gave me don't work. I can't sleep anymore. We got a shout out to Dabney Coleman of the Beverly Hills Remake fame and many other
he's in that
things. Yeah, he's the doctor.
Nice.
Like the guy that gives him the pills.
Dabney, it was always good to see him pop up.
Yeah.
He's got a pretty small part in this. But.
Yeah. It's important to me that I stay close to my son. That was kind of the one thing that he gave a fuck about was like, I mean, he didn't like hate his wife, but I think he was probably like, I really just want to like reconnect with my son. Because when he left, his son was like a fucking 6-month-old baby that didn't remember him at all. And when he came back, he was like a full grown. He was like, you know,
it's not like his wife like cuckolded him really.
Right.
Like, she thought he was dead.
Right. Exactly.
Moved on.
Well, then she didn't make him wear the cuckold horns.
Yeah.
So this fucking that question you asked me earlier was invalid.
But I love how he's like, I'm just gonna sit here for the rest of the night and like.
Yeah.
But then there's probably my favorite scene in the movie where he has to confront like the dude. What's his name? Cliff.
Oh, his like the policeman that like takes his wife.
He tries to like basically.
Oh yeah.
Make sure that they're good.
Yeah.
And he asked him to like
torture him essentially. Yeah.
Pretty messed up, man.
And like the dude couldn't stand torturing him more than he could stand the torture. Like he was like, this is nothing. He's like, they used to do that to us 2 times a day, and he's like,
that's when you know like this dude's in bad shape.
Yeah, let me actually get to that part because that's further down here. Yeah. So apparently, like, yeah, he's like, he talks to him and fucking after he tortures him, he says, "How the fuck did you do that?" Or like, you know, "How the fuck did you do that?
How did you do that?"
And he's like, "Zada." He's like, "How did you like, you know, do it for 7 years of every day?" You know, that, and he's like, "You learn to love the rope. That's how you beat them. That's how you beat people who torture you. You learn to love them, and they don't know that you're beating them." It's like,
it's a pretty great line.
He becomes like fucking, you know, like
a Zen master,
a pacifist.
Yeah,
it's like, damn.
Yeah, I think this movie's really well written, and it's by Paul Schrader, who like he wrote Taxi Driver.
Right. Yeah.
And he's still making.
He was
movies
saying
today.
It was like this was after he had done that and before he had done another movie or whatever. Like while he
Blue Collar, maybe.
Yeah.
But like, if he wrote it, it's pretty much guaranteed to be at least like interesting.
Yeah.
And usually like pretty dark.
So like, there's a dude playing a tuba when he gets the fucking silver dollars that has like a fucking ridiculous handlebar curled up mustache.
Oh, I did notice that. That was pretty cool.
I was like, what the fuck?
It was the 70s, man.
Yeah. Idiots everywhere. He gets a red Cadillac convertible from some guy. I don't know if that was the mayor or like...
I don't know.
So we got some facts and data here to get through. So,
and you put in the man hours to do the research on this.
Hell yeah. So like, he gets a bunch of silver dollars, and it's essentially one for every single day he was in the, you know, in that fucking hellhole. And so it equates to 2,555 silver dollars in, you know, 1973, and that equates to $15,916.33. But then they give him one more, and it actually equates to $15,922.56.
Yeah.
So
holy good chunk of change.
Fuck. Yeah, that's ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
And that's what sets this whole thing up, is apparently this was being televised, and these guys found out, oh, this guy's got fucking these silver dollars that are
go
worth
steal 'em.
like apparently $2,000 back then, which is like way more money now, like $15,000. Which I mean it's
a pretty sick gang to
Yeah.
like, especially to want to steal them from a war hero. Like,
Yeah.
dude, that's pretty hard. These are major villains.
We got another ADR line or some weird shit where like they're playing catch and Major Charles Rane drops the ball and says, "Ah," and I was like, "Okay."
You're like the king of noticing weird ADR stuff.
Because it's so every time I hear it, it cracks me the fuck up. I'm like, oh my god, so good.
He's having a catch with the runt.
Yeah,
Runt.
which he tells him not to call his kid a runt anymore.
Yeah, don't call my son a runt.
And I'm like, why the fuck would anybody call somebody that? You fucking runt. Second time Major Charles Rane has said, "Here's looking at you." I'm like, okay, because he's a fan of like fucking Casablanca or something.
A bogey.
He's a freaking bogey.
He's a bogey fan.
Bogey.
You're telling me he's a fan of bogey?
I'm just a little rusty with my small talk. Hey, I didn't mean anything bad. I don't mind carrying the ball. Shoot, pleasure, insert, stumble over words, and definitely should have not taken a retake at all. It's like, she's like, I don't mind carrying the ball. Shoot, pleasure. A pleasure after all the drunks I've had to put up with. He's like, I'm out of here. This fucking sucks. Yeah, that was fucking a shit show. Okay, so the Major goes in, has a seat. Oh shit, it's home invasion, ICP style.
Nice. So did you know this was gonna happen? Or were you like taken off guard by the horrific?
I knew something was gonna happen because I saw the fucking cover, and he's also holding he's holding a fucking gun on the back cover, and it's like, okay, well something happens, like, and that hasn't happened yet in the film, so I was just assuming. I thought maybe it was gonna be like Rocky, like Rambo, where he goes insane in the first one and like starts fighting, snaps or something. Yeah, but
they drew first blood.
That didn't happen. They drew first blood here too.
Yep.
He ain't talking worthless shit. That line, I was like, okay. They start burning his hands and he ain't saying shit. And then the guy was like, I'll make this motherfucker talk. And then they like munch his hand up in the garbage disposal and he's like, oh.
Which I guess you don't really see any gore or anything.
Yeah.
But apparently they filmed it and it was like too intense.
Yeah, apparently, that's actually, it was in the documentary. They were saying that in one of the test screenings, they like showed it and fucking one dude ran out and wanted a refund. One dude got in his car and got into a crash because he was so horrified. And one lady fucking like was screaming hysterically. Yeah,
I love those. I'm sure like 99% of those stories are like made up.
It's like the same thing with The Exorcist when people were like, people were running out of the theater.
They were vomiting,
throwing up, and
my dad told me that
passing out.
They were vomiting in the aisles, and I'm like, really?
I'm like, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that was like people were so.
It was just hype.
Yeah. That or maybe people were just so like innocent, like. But then again, I mean, they still would have seen real life shit, like, and real life shit's worse than stuff that's on film anyway. Yeah. So,
but it's probably more horrifying that you don't see anything because I'm sure it would look cheesy.
He's like, oh. He's like, why didn't you just tell him? You would have fucking foregone all this shit. And I'm like, because they fucking would have killed him, and then that's what happened anyway. They like killed his fucking son. They must have like put the gun to the head of the kid and wife because they are just like never seen again. He shot him so hard they disappeared from the film. They didn't even get a funeral. And fucking for him, the guy was shot like 10 times, and he was like, "You're lucky you survived." And I'm like, the guy must have been like, but yeah, he fucking killed the shit out of him. So Tommy Lee Jones comes to see him in the hospital, and he's like, "You can't let it slide, Major. They ain't got no right to live."
Great line.
And it's like, if he wasn't thinking about it before, that's definitely probably what sowed the seed in his mind, because he never says anything about it, but then when he finally gets home, it's like off to the races. He's like, okay, I have a mission. And
right. And even then, he's like, he has the hook, and he's learning how to like,
he like sharpens it too, yeah.
But he's like learns how to put the cigarettes back in the pack, so that like he becomes like an expert with the hook.
He's an expert with it.
Yeah.
He doesn't know what a groupie is. I was like, okay. The Major says he can't remember what happened or how he lost his hand, but that was just a fucking bullshit.
Yep. Yeah, this is the part where he's like, there's some kind of repetitive scenes where he's trying to track the guys down.
Yeah.
And like not really much happens. He just like goes from one location to the next trying to find people. But there is one scene where he first uses his hook.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Let me see here. Go down here. Damn, dude. Where the fuck are my notes about this? It's like so far down here. Well, essentially, he fucking puts a hook in a guy's hand.
A guy's groin.
No, that's after.
Oh, okay, that's what I was referencing.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's like way after this.
Okay.
Because he uses the hook multiple times, but the first time he uses it is when he, like, puts it on that guy's hand.
Like nails it to the table or whatever.
Pretty ridiculous stuff. Like we were saying, the home invasion doesn't even really happen until like a third of the way through this film. So like up until this point, like nothing.
There's nothing that would make you believe it would turn into crazy revenge.
Right. It just kind of seems like a psychological evaluation film, you know, about a returning veteran that kind of could go either he adjusts or he doesn't. But it does not go that way. So I would have to say that William Devane, who plays Charles Maine. God fucking damn it. Major Charles Rane kind of reminds me of Paul Lynde a little bit, the way he looks.
Really?
Not the way he acts.
Okay.
I'm like, yeah, he fucking acts just like him.
Dude,
in this
Paul
film.
Lynde should have been Major Rane.
Oh my god. And Tommy Lee Jones would be played by fucking W.C. Fields.
Yeah. HR Puff and stuff.
Here at the Celebrity Deli. You're like, God damn it.
I always attack people with a hook when I'm with Ollie.
Ollie. It's like, fucking kill me. His like lady friend asks, why do I always get stuck with crazy men? Because that's the only kind that's left. I'm like, okay. And then this is the part you were talking about when he crotches automatic slim.
Yeah.
And like, essentially it has no effect for the rest of the film because he like, you see him walking around, no problems for the rest. Yeah. It's like, dude, if a sharpened claw went up into my balls, I would be like,
dead.
Fucked. He was just like, eh. I was like, okay. At the time he wasn't, but like, one scene later he's just like.
Automatic Slim is a great character name, I have to say.
Which is weird because he's not even like the dude that was doing the talking in the home invasion. Like they act like that's like the number one bad guy in this film, when it was really the other dude that was talking.
Yeah, he was the leader.
Which I was kind of like, everybody's like, I hate Automatic Slim, and I'm like, I mean, he didn't.
He was a henchman, basically.
Right? Yeah, I was kind of like, what? I thought that was so weird about this because even in the documentary, which I wrote down some of what a Tommy Lee Jones says because he essentially has nothing to add. But one of the things he says is, I'm just gonna go to what he said now, like for that part at least, because it's so stupid. He's like, what did he say? Tommy Lee Jones. Let's see here. Blah blah blah. Oh, here we go. Automatic Slim. God damn it. I didn't like the guys that ground his hand up in the thing. That I didn't like Automatic Slim one bit. I'm like, thanks, Tommy Lee Jones.
So should we spend some time talking about Tommy Lee Jones now? Like the legendary curmudgeon?
You mean about how he doesn't like fucking Jim Carrey, essentially? And who else doesn't like Jim Carrey? You said it was... You like texted me. It was like Tommy Lee Jones and this other dude don't like Jim Carrey, and I was like,
I don't remember.
I didn't know about the other person, but essentially Tommy Lee Jones is I don't really know. He kind of seems like an old fuck at this point that doesn't like anybody.
He's always seemed like that.
Yeah, he does kind of seem like he's like, I'm better than everyone else. And I'm like, damn, dude.
But Jim Carrey told that story on the Norm Macdonald show. Like,
Yeah.
he found out that Tommy Lee Jones hated him, and like he yelled at him when they were making Batman Forever.
I heard that way before that, though. Like,
But
he's told that a lot.
That's
like,
probably the best line ever.
Yeah.
Is what Tommy Lee Jones told him.
where he was just like, I cannot stand your buffoonery.
I cannot sanction your
Yeah,
buffoonery.
it's like,
dude, come on, you're making a. Speaking of buffoonery, like
they're making a
him in that movie.
Well, they're making a Batman film, and he's playing the Riddler like Jim Carrey is. What did you want him to do? Like, be completely fucking like, if this was like maybe like, you know, like serious Batman,
Right.
and like the new one that's coming out where the Riddler, I think, is supposed to be more serious, but like both the characters were fucking gonna be like over the top. By that point, they had went like full fucking Adam West, like campy Batman. So like, I can't sanction your buffoonery. I'm like, dude, you're fucking over the top.
Yeah, speaking of buffoonery, like, I love Tommy Lee Jones, but
Yeah.
that's his worst performance, in my opinion, as Two-Face. Like, I'm embarrassed for him.
Because, yeah, I mean, for
He's
one,
so
they should
bad.
have brought back, what's-his-face? Fucking,
Yeah, Billy D. Williams.
yeah, like,
But he's not even playing a character. He's basically, like, playing the Joker.
Right.
And just trying to be, speaking of buffoonery, like, in every scene he acts like a total
Right.
buffoon.
Which is,
looks
like,
terrible.
ridiculous for that character to be played like that in the first place. It's like, okay.
Not good. Jim Carrey, I think, is awesome in that movie, by the way. But
yeah.
What's your favorite Tommy Lee Jones movie? If you had to pick one.
Probably, like, Men in Black, honestly.
Yeah. Classic.
I'm trying to think of, like, I mean, like, I don't know. I'm not like a Tommy Lee Jones fanatic, so I don't like, I'm not like Kurt Russell where I could name off a bunch of his films, but like, I don't even really know what else he's been in. I know he was in that one movie with the old astronauts we've watched.
Yeah, Space Cowboys.
Yeah, which actually,
he's the one that dies, isn't
fucking,
he?
what's his face is in this film, or in that film, Charles Rane. Fucking
William Devane is?
Yeah.
Nice, I forgot about that.
He plays Eugene or whatever. I think he's one of the dudes that goes up maybe or something. Or
Isn't
maybe,
Tommy Lee Jones the one that dies on the moon?
Like one of them has cancer and fucking he's just like, at the end, of course, they're like, spoilers,
His
fucking
dead body's just laying
yeah,
there.
well, they're like, we can't do this. Someone has to stay behind or do some bullshit. And he's like, I'll do it. I got no time to fucking live. I got cancer. And so he just fucking, yeah, they show his body and he's on the moon. Like,
it's like the end.
Yeah.
Like, what did I just watch?
You can close your eyes. Fucking Tommy Lee Jones.
I think he's probably most famous from The Fugitive, which is where he won the Oscar.
That's right, yeah.
He's great in that.
I was gonna say there was another thing. I'm trying to think what else. I mean,
Dude, I'll tell you my favorite. Under Siege. He's
Oh,
so
yeah.
amazing in that.
Yeah.
As the, like, speaking of over the top, he's super over the top in that, but he's great.
Under
as the
Siege
villain.
is like the only film I've ever seen where the villains don't stand a chance. They just
That's every Steven
they get
Seagal movie.
absolutely raped by Steven Seagal. There's no like the good guy's on the outs and then he comes back. There's no like
They have no chance.
Shawn Michaels or Goku moment. There's like literally from the gate he goes full force and just
He doesn't even get a single
dead.
hit in.
Yeah.
So Tommy Lee Jones in Under Siege.
And Gary Busey, they're just raped.
But
the head in the fucking thing, it's like
Tommy Lee Jones, he gets his eyes gouged out.
Yeah.
He gets a knife
Yeah.
through his skull,
Yeah.
and then he slams his head into the thing and electrocutes.
Yeah, it's like Jesus.
Overkill. Dude.
Yeah.
So good.
It's like, okay, any of those things would have been it, but also like how strong was Steven Seagal in that film to fucking jam a knife through his fucking head?
Like, is this Michael Myers?
Yeah, or like it's like zombies in The Walking Dead when they can do that when their heads are rotted. It's like, oh yeah, Kevin says Fugitive. Yeah. I could have sworn there was like another film I've seen him in that
There's
thought
probably
that was
a dozen.
great, but I can't remember. I don't really, Yeah, go look it up while I kind of talk a little bit more here. Talked about the Paul Lynde thing. Let's see.
I'll just mention a few.
Yeah.
Like Lincoln. I think he may have been nominated for that one too.
Okay, I've never seen that, but I've heard of it.
No Country for Old Men.
Oh yeah.
Is another really.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Space Cowboys, Men in Black. Mention those.
Space Black Men and Cowboys.
U.S. Soldiers, which was kind of he played the same character from The Fugitive, but in his own movie, and it wasn't very good.
Yeah, I've never seen that.
Oh, dude, how could I forget Volcano? The movie's amazing.
I don't know if I've ever seen that film.
It's like it came out right at the same time as Dante's Peak.
Oh, that's right. I remember that because there for a while they were doing like they had that, and then they had fucking Deep Impact and what was it called?
Armageddon.
Armageddon. Like they were doing all these like disaster films with all these big actors and shit.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wasn't Pierce Brosnan in one of those?
That
like,
was Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak. Yeah. Okay.
Like there's the Pierce Brosnan volcano movie and the Tommy Lee Jones volcano movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen that one.
It's good. It's really silly. Natural Born Killers, Fugitive, Under Siege, JFK, Firebirds, which is a terrible movie starring Nicolas Cage.
Never heard of that one.
Lonesome Dove.
Huh. Lonesome Dove, like the show?
Yep.
Okay. This is you're going into his early career.
Yeah,
I'm assuming at this
kind
point.
of going back. The Coal Miner's Daughter, The Eyes of Laura Mars.
Ah, 2 movies I've never heard of before.
Which I think that was written by John Carpenter, actually.
He's like The Eyes of Mars.
Yeah, this is Rolling Thunder is one of his earlier roles for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
nice. Well,
all right.
Do you give Tommy Lee Jones an overall thumbs up for acting ability, or a thumbs down?
Dude, I give him a 9.95.
Perfect. What do you give his?
He's one of my favorite actors.
Wow. Shocking.
But actually, I'll give him an 8.95. I'll take one notch off for Two-Face. So bad.
What a whole point out of all the films he's done for fucking.
It was that bad.
Oh man, what do you give his personality?
I don't know him personally, so I can't say. He just seems like a curmudgeon.
That was a trick question.
You got me.
Since you don't know him. So let's get back to the movie at hand.
One last bit of trivia. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
He's super smart. He went to Harvard and was roommates with Al Gore.
Oh.
Moving on.
Loose change. Actually, isn't that movie about like how 9/11 was an inside job? Yeah. So, if you believe that, you're a fucking idiot. So cop chases down bad guy, kills 3 of them, and then he just gets reamed, and then he's just never seen again. He's like the dude that was like essentially wanting to get revenge because like the Major Charles Rane's wife was gonna marry this guy, and Cliff, and he gets killed. So essentially, all the original people in the film are dead. He's dead. And then Major Charles Rane gets all dressed up in his regalia and leaves the lady behind with a bunch of money. And then it's fucking time to start the fucking ass kicking.
There's a scene where he's like doing target practice or like shooting practice.
Yeah. I actually didn't I put that down, but it was just a bunch of exposition by the lady, so I didn't really write anything.
There's not much to it.
But they're
I was happy that Alec Baldwin wasn't on the set.
That picture I sent you of Spenny holding that gun and Alec Baldwin's like...
Sorry.
That's fucking
Couldn't resist.
Tommy Lee Jones is fucking hating life as a civilian. Major Charles Rane, I found them. Who? The men who killed my son. I'll just get my gear.
It's the best line in the movie.
They're in a whorehouse over in Juarez right now. There's the 4 that came into my home, and there's 8 or 10 others. Well, let's go clean them up.
So good.
I'm like... Jesus, dude, this is so good.
Tommy Lee Jones is like a killing machine.
Well, it's like he was programmed,
right?
Obviously, like all these soldiers to kill, but like they never got the chance. They essentially were like captured, like for the most part. And he's like, "I'm ready.
Let's go clean them up."
Yeah,
man.
There is a kind of
a
sad part here though, because like I almost teared up a bit because he's like he knows what's going, like he's maybe going to die or whatever, and when he's leaving, Tommy Lee Jones doesn't say a damn thing really to anybody else.
Yeah.
But he says, "Bye, Daddy," to like his dad, and he's like, "See you later, son." Or he's like, "Bye, son," and I was like, dude, that's...
Yeah, like he, at the drop of a hat, he like...
Well, he essentially doesn't care about his wife. He doesn't care about his brother or sister that are there, or like whoever, the only person he really loves is like his dad. And it's like, you can tell, like, I mean, I'm pretty sure he doesn't hate his wife, but like he's just apathetic towards her. And I think it's the same thing with Major Charles Rane, I don't know why I keep calling his full name.
Because it's funny.
I guess, like, you're just like, okay. I think it's hard for them to get back into the, like, forming personal bonds with
like
regular people
emotions.
because they essentially had to make themselves, like, feel no emotions to try to get through it. And Tommy Lee Jones, I feel like, didn't completely do that, and Charles Rane did. I don't know why I keep calling what's
Major
his
Charles
William Devane. Major William Devane.
William Devane Rane?
Yeah.
Devane Rane?
Fucking William Devane with the big reins. In the big Charles McRain.
Major Charles Rane.
With the big tames. So Tommy Lee Jones gets a prostitute and goes to the second floor, and he's like pale as a fucking ghost. Like he's like ready to go, but he's like, you can tell he's like the calm before the storm.
So good.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm having issues, like, you know, trying to like pretty much say like he doesn't want to alert her that he's not going to do anything with her, but like he's kind of like, take your time, you know, like, you know, because he's waiting for
the signal.
Major Charles Rane to come up and knock on the door and
tap on his
top
shotgun
on the stuff. Yeah.
Initiate the bloodbath.
So then they proceed to fucking kill everyone, and I think that Tommy Lee Jones kills like twice as many people as Major Charles Rane does, because he opens a door where there's like 10 people, and he's like, "Hey boys," and he's like, like, it's like Jesus, and he's like smiling. He's like, "This is the greatest fucking thing ever." He's like killing these low-life bastards. There's a pretty legit gore shot where like the main guy, I don't know what his name is because like for some reason in this film they think Automatic Slim's the main guy, but it's the boss, and he goes to reach for his gun, and Major Charles Rane shoots him, and his fucking arm is like
he gives his
arm. And I'm like, and then like he shoots him in the stomach, and he's like, oh.
There's a couple other amazing lines.
Yeah.
I forget exactly. Is it Tommy Lee Jones who's like, "It's your time, boy," before he like
yes.
blows the guy away?
Wait, no, that's Major Charles Rane says that to the main guy.
Yeah, "It's your time, boy."
Yeah.
So good. And then
what does Tommy Lee Jones say when he opens the door to all those dudes?
He tells the prostitute, she's like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "I'm gonna kill a bunch."
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like,
I wish I remembered what he said when he opened that door, because he opens it and he's like, says something.
"I'm gonna kill a bunch of people."
He's like, bam, bam. He opens the door and he's just like, "Hey, Slick, fucking it's me, Tommy Lee Jones from the hit film Men in Black." And everyone's just like, what?
It's like, have you heard the new rap by Will Smith? It's the hot hit of the summer.
For some reason, there was no rap for fucking any of the episodes. Damn it, dude. That's something they need to bring back, is songs about the film, like recapping what just happened.
Yeah, dude, if this movie ended with like a rap about Major Charles Rane, best movie ever.
They're like, they do what they want to do, say what they want to say. Major Charles Rane. It's like, what? You didn't really...
Here comes the Major Rane.
The Major Vein?
Vein.
The main vein. You're like, zip? I'm like, oh. Yeah, so they kill everyone that isn't a prostitute, essentially.
And they both make it, right? Or did they get shot?
No, they both get shot, but they're fine.
They're walking out the door.
They get out. But that wasn't like the original ending. Like, they were apparently supposed to die. But I guess there was like another dude that got brought in and did some rewrites, because like William Devane was like, let's kind of like punch the script up. I guess there was kind of like some of the dialogue, like Tommy Lee Jones stuff, was more of his stuff got added in, because William Devane was like, I think we need to like add more shit for him and stuff. Great decision. But I guess the original thing was like, it was just going to be straight up like everybody dies. And they were like, that didn't really test well, I guess. So they were like, fuck that.
Again, kind of like Rambo, which he was originally supposed to commit suicide, which is like,
that would have been the end of the fucking franchise.
Ending.
These days, though, if that were to happen and like a character would kill themselves, they would just like Michael Myers it and be like, that didn't happen.
Rambo dies tonight.
Yeah. In credits, let's go home, John. They walk out as San Antone plays.
I love movies where like pretty much the killing stops and then it's like credits. Like there's no need for any additional scenes.
Well, it's also nice because like I like when there's no wasted credits. Like in this, it's like they're playing credits over footage. Like I hate it when they just go to a black screen. Not all the times. There's been a couple of movies when they go to a black screen and play like the music, like they'll add in something cool in the credits, like you know, like Wreck-It Ralph had a cool like exit kind of thing. But like,
what if they would have had hilarious bloopers in this movie?
Like fucking Automatic Slim slipping on blood or something. It's like, okay. I'm like, now this is hilarious. So we got some making of stuff here. This is off of the, I think it's like 20 minutes. It's kind of a short interview, and it kind of sucks because like you can tell that like they cut off shit because it starts in the middle of fucking William Devane talking. So it's like, you couldn't have put the whole thing on there? Like, really? Like, what did he just, like, say the N-word right before or something? Like, come on.
Good Lord.
Why'd they cut it?
Why would you think that that's the reason?
Why would it not be? There's no other reason for it not to be in.
I guess.
So, like, Air Force wouldn't let him use a plane, and they didn't want to have anything to do with the film, essentially. So, like, that's why there's, like, a private jet that's used on this, like...
opening credits.
That's what Tommy Lee Jones said. William Devane says he's been filled with rage since he was 2. Yeah, I was like, huh? Tommy Lee Jones really adds nothing to the documentary to a degree when he talks. Director says the lesson of the film is a senseless and stupid war destroys lives during and for many years after the fact. Then instantly William Devane proceeds to say, I don't think there's a lesson in the next second of the interview.
Nice.
I didn't like the guy. Yeah, I didn't like the guys that ground up his hand in the sink. I didn't like that Automatic Slim one bit. Tommy Lee Jones again with some great fucking...
Is he like playing the character again? Like,
I mean, Tommy Lee Jones is just like a southern dumbass. The hook... Somebody said the hook thing was a great hook.
No pun
I think
intended.
it was William Devane. And
Pun
I was like,
intended.
okay. So we talked about earlier, the original song was named Go Hide John. It was more like a trucker song. So the only documentary where like every single time they go back to like an actor or like a writer or someone, they put like their name of who they played and like say Tommy Lee Jones on there. I'm like, we know it's fucking Tommy Lee Jones. You don't have to fucking do it it'll be like, he'll come up and it's like Tommy Lee Jones. Cool. Tommy Lee Jones does say that thanks to this film, he works with like Billy Burton, the stunt coordinator, whenever he's like given the chance to like have it be his decision. So I guess like this was the first film they worked together, and ever since then, whenever he's given like the chance to be like, who do you want to be the stunt guy? He's like Billy Burton. So
nice loyalty.
Yeah, I was like, damn, dude. Because I guess like they were saying that like there were no stuntmen on this film. It was everybody did their own stunts. So like Tommy Lee Jones, William Devane, all the actors, because all the actors were essentially like the bad guys were like these big bouncer trucker like guys, and they're like, we couldn't really get a stunt guy to look like this person. So the stunt guy was like, yeah, I just put him to like hydraulic press wire rigs and just pull them back so they didn't have to act. They were like, fuck, like when they got pulled back and shit, kind of like fucking Hans Gruber when he got fucking dropped and thought he was dying. Yeah, it's just, it's interesting stuff, and like I guess like I said, it's sad it was only 20 minutes because they started to get some, like, the best part of it was at the end when William Devane started talking about some interesting stuff about the film, but they cut that off too, and it was during the credits. So it was kind of, whereas like the Klaus Kinski fucking documentary was super long and it was like revealing as hell, and I was like, kind of wish that like Severin had done this instead, because I love Shout Factory, like they're awesome, Screen Factory, but I feel like sometimes, and maybe because it was an earlier release, like they didn't put as much time into it, because like the only thing that's on here is like the trailers, TV spots. They even have a thing where you can watch photos, like it's like, what is this, an old DVD, like where you can
interactive menus.
Yeah, it's like,
well, still interactive.
Yeah, it's kind of slim on the features, automatic slim on the features. So how what would you give this film?
I would give this film a 7. I'd give it a 7.9.
Put your body.
If it didn't, like the middle part's a little bit draggy.
Yeah,
I think that's the only thing holding it back.
Yeah,
because the beginning's awesome, the ending is legendary.
So
loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably give it like a 6.95 or a 7.95. Yeah, it's
cool.
Definitely wouldn't go any higher than that, but not because the actors. It's like, yeah,
cool. Cool, man. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
I love this movie and movies like it, so it was fun to watch and fun to talk about.
I love my life.
I love LA.
Fuck that asshole. I love it. I was like, who was that? Who was that guy? Okay, I gotta hide the screen for you because it's time to pick our buddy shot nominations film. I reworked the list so that they're actually numbers, so you don't have to fucking. Let me just find
pick a number 1 through 10, not 3.
Yeah,
not 5.
I was like, pick a number 1 through whatever, and you're like, whatever number you picked, and I was like, pick again, just like for 10 hours. Okay, so right now we've got 1 through 20, and then some of these have multiple things on it. So if you pick a number that has that, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So 1 through 20, and
if there's no kind of order.
What do you mean?
They're not in any kind of order. Like, are they in the order that they were selected?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, they're kind of like all over the place. Like people have sent these in, and
number 3 is my selection.
Okay, so number 3, A or B?
B.
Okay. We'll have to contact these people because we'll be watching an Ernest movie.
Oh, nice. Already?
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'll have to ask them which one that they want us to watch. So an Ernest movie, and I'm pretty happy about this, honestly.
Yeah, that means you're getting 3 Ernests.
Yeah.
In 3 months, because we did October, we'll do one in November, and I'm
Ernest. Yeah, we're gonna do Ernest
Saves Christmas
in
December
for sure. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped actually now about that. That's like
nice.
Not that I wouldn't be pumped if other ones weren't picked, but
we should just do Ernest movies every week.
Yeah, for however many weeks we would have until we were out of Ernest.
And then just keep
movies.
repeating. Doing the same thing.
Sorry guys, the Ernest movies. It's the buddy
Ernest Shotz.
Yeah, the Ernest Shotz. Oh my god. Okay, well, do you have anything else to say about Major Charles Rane and his escapades and his family flick of the year?
Nope, I think...
what is this rated?
We nailed it.
R? Yeah. I wonder if it was rated R back in the day, because you remember how, like, movies... I remember when we watched Beneath the Planet of the Apes, and, like, that movie was rated G, and in the trailer, like, dudes are getting blown up and blood shooting everywhere. And I'm like, yeah. So, yeah. Anything else?
I think we nailed it.
I agree.
Anything else from you?
No, we got the audio fucking fixed finally, and I fucked up again.
Cool.
Bye.